You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today's Tuesday, 24th day of June, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. Now, the first live broadcast, that's our live training room. So to get in there, you got to be one of our traders or taking your 1-week free trial. If you have not yet taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael joins us at the top of the hour, he'll walk you through, step by step, how to take the trial. He'll show you the form you need to fill out. It'll take you 5 minutes. We'll get your indicators up and indicating today. Your trial will officially start tomorrow, which I know is the middle of the week. But don't worry, the weekend doesn't count against you. So you'll still get 2 more days next week. 5 consecutive trading days with no credit card required. The reason there's no credit card required, we don't want you worrying about the money, okay? We want you focused on what's being taught. We want you to learn so that at the end of the 5-day trial, you'll be able to make a well-informed, intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. Now, every day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, when the live training room ends, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. That's everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There are 2 different ways to join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward is every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In the email, there's a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. The benefit of doing it that way is you have immediate access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days when you're out of the office, away from your desktop. This time of year, you might even be on vacation, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy, can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. Well, you can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. That's the Christian Financial Radio Network since 2005. But you don't have to remember all that. just youtube.com/CFRN. And while you're there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell. This way, anytime we go live, you'll be notified. And I have some plans in the future to do some very short broadcasts outside of our normal broadcast schedule. So hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, and also it helps more people find our channel. So thank you very much. Now, we stream live every trading day on our YouTube channel. As we're doing right now, we're simulcasting. But we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,800 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to our little corner of the world, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. In fact, thanks to the power of YouTube, you can actually see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to, but it's a great resource to have at your fingertips, and it kind of lets you know we've been around a while. Quite a while. youtube.com/CFRN. Our schedule for each afternoon broadcast is right here. Michael will join us at the top of the hour to give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. And then we'll do a little live trading on the TradingView platform for about a half an hour. For now, we'll jump into our daily devotional, which is where we start each and every day. Now, this is day 6 of 6. Why should I trust the Bible? Today's scripture is Psalm 77:14. It's chapter 77, verse 14, from the NIV translation. You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples. Psalm 77:14. So on this final day of this topic, why trust the Bible? We're going to talk about the miracles of the Bible. The final question we're asking is, how can any educated person believe in the miracles of the Bible? Matthew's Gospel alone records Jesus healing a man with leprosy, a man who was paralyzed, 2 men who were blind, and 1 who was mute. He raised a girl from the dead, instantly healed a woman who had been sick for 12 years, and cured a boy of seizures. Ancient historians, including those skeptical about faith, agree that Jesus Christ was known as a healer and exorcist. This is one of the most widely attested and firmly established of the historical facts about Jesus' life. One historian admitted, even when strict critical standards have been applied to the miracle stories, a demonstrably historical nucleus remains. Jesus performed healings which astonished his contemporaries. Now this begs the question, were Jesus' contemporaries fundamentally suggestible or naive compared to us? Today's passage illustrates why the answer to that question is likely no. Jesus' followers and onlookers were always shocked, afraid, awestruck or amazed when they witnessed his supernatural acts. These are normal, to be expected reactions, the same that you or I may have. Even when Jesus specifically tells people not to talk about the miracles they've seen, they can't help themselves. They tell everyone. His miracles were as out of the ordinary then as they would be today. Author C.S. Lewis and mathematician John Lennox made the case for miracles by explaining that the laws of nature describe the regularities on which the universe normally runs. Yet God, who created the laws of the universe, isn't a prisoner to them. God can, if he wills, do something supernatural. Miracles aren't illogical nonsense, but make sense if God does exist as a way of showing us who he is. Philosophical materialism, the adamant belief that miracles are implausible, is wholly flawed. This philosophy is based on an insistence that things must be scientifically provable. Yet this theory in and of itself isn't scientifically provable. It fails its own test. A person who is cynical about the possibility of the miraculous should start by reading the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Many skeptics assume they're full of otherworldly, mythological creatures and happenings. Yet remarkably, the miracles of the Bibles happen in everyday circumstances we recognize, to people like us, no more or less suggestible, who have expected reactions to something unexpected happening. After all, it's only in an ordinary world that miracles are extraordinary. As we conclude our look at why you should trust the Bible, may you carry God's peace with you as you continue to discover the timelessness, infallibility, wisdom, and richness of his word, which is trustworthy and true. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your word. Something in this life that we can trust, hold on to, and build our lives on. Lord, we pray that you would help us to understand that you are the God who heals, that you are the God who operates in the supernatural. And just as the disciples laid hands on the sick and they recovered, help us to understand that we have that very same power because the Holy Spirit lives within us. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen, and happy Tuesday. Okay, let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Now, I'm going to be up front. I got it wrong last night. I really did. We get into the charts. I'll explain. But I also said in those posts in the discussion group, I could be wrong. I was. No shame in that. That's the truth about trading. Anybody who tells you they're always right They're probably more interested in your money than you are. Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted by a text from Michael. All right, let me get back to where I was. The Dow is up 437 points, a little over 1%. Nasdaq's up 270 points, almost 1.5%. The S&P 500 is up 60, just over 1%. And the Russell 2000 is up 25 points, almost 1.25%. Now, by the end of the week, I may be proven right based on what I wrote last night, but we'll see. In the commodity basket, crude oil down $3.92, trading 64.59 last. That's a drop of 5.75%. Gold is down $69, a little over 2%. And silver's down 51 cents, trading 35.67 last. That's a drop of almost 1.5%. The Asian markets at the close. The Nikkei posted a gain of 436 points, almost 1.25%. Shanghai gained 38, and for the Shanghai, that's almost 1.25%. The Hang Seng gained 487 points. That's over 2%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up almost a point. The DAX up 372 points. That's over 1.5%. And the CAC up 78, a little over 1%. So it's not too often that I can say this, but we had a green day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. It's a big green Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. All right, let's start with the global news. President Trump yesterday announced a phased ceasefire deal between Iran and Israel, reportedly brokered with the help of Qatar. Iran is expected to pause fighting first, followed by Israel 12 hours later, with the conflict ending as soon as tomorrow. Now, why couldn't it just be an immediate ceasefire? I looked at my wife as the news was giving us this information, and I said, now I wonder how many people are going to have to die between now and when the ceasefire actually fully kicks in, and who's going to be the first to break it. Well, let's just hope they don't. The ceasefire was expected to go into effect around midnight Eastern. An Iranian official confirmed Tehran's agreement to the ceasefire as long as Israel stops its airstrikes, while Israel has not publicly acknowledged it as of this writing. Trump's announcement on Truth Social came after Iran launched missiles at the U.S. military base in Qatar in response to the U.S. bombing of 3 Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend. Now, this was just to save face. They telegraphed the fact that they were about to do this, and Qatar effectively blocked every incoming missile, bomb, rocket, whatever you want to call it. So, Iran can say we didn't go out without a fight, I guess. Moving on. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory in Chile released its first images this week offering a detailed look into the distant universe. Funded by the U.S., the telescope features the world's largest digital camera and an almost 28-foot wide mirror, enabling it to capture enormous amounts of light and spot objects billions of light years away with remarkable clarity. Highlights include a composite of 678 exposures taken over 7 hours, revealing new details in the Trifid and Lagoon Nebula, star-forming regions thousands of light years from Earth, and a panoramic view of the Virgo cluster. In 10 hours of observations, Rubin identified 2,104 previously unknown asteroids, including 7 near-Earth objects, none of which pose a threat, thankfully. There are an estimated 25,000 near-Earth asteroids, large enough to destroy a city, fewer than half of which have been found. And it's a big day in New York. New York City voters head to the polls today for municipal primaries, including the mayoral race. 11 candidates are running for the Democratic nomination. That winner is historically favored to win the general election. The pack is led by former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who returned to politics following sexual harassment allegations and ran a centrist campaign focused on public safety. He's expected to pull over 35% of the vote. New York Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani has closed in on Cuomo's lead, with the 33-year-old Democratic Socialist calling for universal child care, free bus rides, and a rent freeze on rent-stabilized apartments. That accounts for roughly 44% of New York City's rentals. One recent poll found Mamdani likely to win the nomination through the city's ranked choice voting system. The winner will face the Republican and independent candidates, including incumbent Mayor Eric Adams, who skipped the Democratic primary and is running as an independent amid a since-dropped corruption investigation. These are the best two they could find. Cuomo and Mamdani could also appear on the November ballot through additional party lines. Oh, New York. New York, New York. All right, let's go to Wall Street, which also happens to be in New York. U.S. stocks jumped today as President Trump told Israel to halt its strikes on Iran amid hopes that a fragile U.S. brokered ceasefire between the two will survive to lay the groundwork for a more permanent end to the hostilities. A relief rally has been building amid hopes for a lasting end to the 12-day-old conflict, which has spooked markets with its risks of squeezed oil supply and escalation into full-blown war. On Monday, U.S. stocks rose as Iran's response to U.S. attacks signaled a desire to de-escalate tensions. Well, that's nice. Well, our old friend, Fed Chair Jerome Powell, testifying before Congress today, told House lawmakers that the central bank is well positioned to wait on any interest rate adjustments until it has more clarity on how President Trump's tariffs will affect inflation and the direction of the U.S. economy. Now, I don't know if you follow me on any of the different places where I write, but 2 Fed governors have already said we should cut the rate in July. But not Jerome, no. He has to appease his handlers, his leftist buddies, who want to see the economy tank so they can blame it on Trump. The country is like George Floyd with Powell's jackboot on our throat. And our country is screaming, I can't breathe. Now, if this economy fails, it will be Jerome Powell and his handlers' fault. But of course, you know who'll get the blame? As always, Donald Trump. It's a crying shame what they're doing. This hell-bent plan to destroy America and the economy just because they hate Trump is sickening. And the Supreme Court has ruled that President Trump can't fire Powell. Well, he can sure make his life miserable. Moving on. A day after Fiserv, that's F-I for the symbol, announced it was planning to launch a new stablecoin called FIUSD, one of the financial technology firm's big customers is jumping on board. MasterCard today said it is deepening its relationship with Fiserv in order to integrate its new FIUSD token across a range of MasterCard products and services, expanding stablecoin adoption and utility for their shared customers around the world. Now, I'm no fan of the stablecoin, but I'll just leave it at that. From Bloomberg, oil plunged for a second straight day as U.S. President Donald Trump signaled he wants to keep oil flowing out of Iran after brokering a fragile ceasefire between Tehran and Israel. Man, I got that wrong. But the week's not over, so we'll see. Shares of Nectar Therapeutics, a company you may have never heard of, is up 135% today, right now. Shares of Nectar doubled in early trading after the U.S. biotech firm said it reached its targets in a mid-stage study of its eczema treatment. It said the global Phase 2b Resolve-Ad study, conducted in 393 patients with moderate to severe atopic dermatitis, achieved successful results after 3 subcutaneous treatments of, let's see if I can do this, pegdalosalukin. Yeah, that ain't right. Over the last 16 weeks. Well, good for the shareholders of Nectar Therapeutics. Carnival. Now, remember the cruise lines, they took a big hit in COVID. Remember that one? I think it may have been more than one, but there was one that was really in the news. The ship was out at sea, and they were quarantined in their cabins for, I forget how long. Now, if you've ever been on a cruise ship, you have a nice cabin. But knowing you can get out and walk around and go on deck and all these other things makes that little small space tolerable. But when you're told you can't come out of the cabin, whoa, that's not good. But Carnival is up today, almost 7%. Carnival Corporation was among the best performing stocks in the S&P 500 today, after the cruise line reported better than expected fiscal second quarter results and boosted its guidance as it added passengers and cut costs. The news also lifted shares of rivals Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, NCLH, and Royal Caribbean Group, RCL. And last, from Wall Street, Polymarket is close to raising $200 million in a funding round that values the world's biggest prediction market at more than $1 billion. This is from Reuters. Billionaire Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, an existing investor, is set to lead the round. Founded in 2020 by Chief Executive Shane Copeland, Polymarket has helped popularize event derivatives trading, which includes buying and selling contracts tied to real-world events such as elections, economic data releases, or policy decisions. Sounds like a casino to me. Unlike traditional betting, traders buy and sell shares linked to specific outcomes, with prices for opposing sides together totaling $1. These relatively new and high-risk instruments gained momentum ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential election as trading volumes on platforms like Polymarket surged. I'm curious if they got it right. During the 2024 U.S. presidential election, contracts on Polymarket predicting a Republican sweep surged, even as most traditional media outlets and polls favored Democrat Kamala Harris. Come on, Ray Charles saw that coming. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the local news. What do you say? Now, guess how many Logic 247 alerts we are from hitting the 20,000 round number? 9. Yep, true story. We're currently in week 360. Over the last 360 weeks, we have issued 19,991 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged over the last 360 weeks is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on simple market structure and a simple process we teach all of our passport holders. This morning when Valerie did the recap at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, since the markets opened Sunday night, we issued a total of 15 alerts. Still waiting on the outcome of 4. That gave us 11 actionable alerts, of which 1 or 9% would have been stopped out. Again, based on simple market structure and the simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, the logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session and vice versa. Now, every logic alert has an entry price, an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day, and then usually additional targets and always a final trade to target. Yeah, you can trade them. Who wouldn't? But the real purpose of the logic alerts is to help you learn how to read the chart. Whatever career path you choose in life, there's always going to be some kind of textbooks, some kind of journal, some kind of instructions that you've got to read to be able to do the job, right? Well, if you want to be a trader, you got to be able to read the charts. But the charts don't have any words, sentences, paragraphs, or punctuation. So your first grade teacher didn't teach you how to read a chart. They may have taught you how to read a medical journal or the law review, but they didn't teach you charts. If you use the Logic 247 alerts as they're intended, soon you will be able to read a chart like an old pro. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to know what's going to happen next in the market. No one does. I know some people try to convince you they do. But it's not possible. And I gave an in-depth explanation yesterday of why it's not possible. However, what we've proven now with almost 20,000 individual handcrafted alerts is that you can know with a high degree of certainty what the next high probability move is. But you see, the difference between knowing what's going to happen next and knowing what the next high probability move is, those two things are as different as night and day. And sadly, so many of these vendors out there, they blur the line between the two. We just tell you the truth. We don't know what's going to happen next. But it's uncanny. How often? It seems like we do. Now, long before we had Logic 247, that was 360 weeks. That's a very long time. But years before there was a Logic 247, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. And they're different. Number one, they don't come out around the clock. They're typically posted 5 minutes ahead of the Globex open each evening. But as I alerted everybody to in the discussion group, I had some things to take care of, so I was not able to publish the alerts last night till 8:40 p.m. Eastern. So that's 2 hours and 40 minutes after the Tuesday session began. Now, if you're a stock trader, you think of the Tuesday session as starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. But those of us who trade futures know that the Globex markets open the previous evening at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's the beginning of the Tuesday session. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, that will be the beginning of the Wednesday session. So all of our traders, all of our trial members had all of these targets 2 hours and 40 minutes after the market opened. Again, on a typical day, it is 5 minutes ahead of the market open. S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, and silver. So let's go take a look at the charts. There we go. All right, now look at what's happening. This potential major resistance that we pointed out months ago looks like we just might close above it today. So where's the next major resistance? Right here. See where the red line gets below the green line? That's called a bearish cross. When you have a bearish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area will almost always be good resistance. So if you follow the horizontal line on my cursor to the right, look, we're almost there. I mean, literally we could hit it today. But again, we expect that to be good resistance, and it's pretty doggone reliable. Now the green line is called the BBC. It stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. But when price crosses above the green line, then we're bullish and expect higher prices. Now, price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. We call it the BBC. Now look at this. Price always travels in legs. Leg and a retracement. Leg and a retracement. Leg and a retracement. Leg, and then we trade through. Did you notice how the pullback to the BBC held? It holds more often than it doesn't. Once we got on the north side of the BBC, the first pullback held, the second pullback held, the third pullback held, the fourth pullback held, and now here we are. Whether you trade futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, or ETFs, I encourage you to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever you're about to trade on the smaller time frames. Why? Because institutional traders, the ones with deep pockets, who trade in tremendous size, they're the ones who actually move price. And they look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts, the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. It has everything to do with account size. So if you'll spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you start trading, you get a free look over the shoulder of what the big boys are doing. Are they buying? Are they selling? But more importantly, you're able to identify where major resistance is most likely to come in and where major support is most likely to come in. Things you are not able to see on the smaller time frame. I challenge you to try it for a month. A typical month has 20 trading days. Just do it for a month, and I don't think you'll ever want to not do it. All alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. The logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts. The vertical line separates today, Tuesday. Back here is Monday. This was the Sunday night gap lower open. And look where price found support, at the weekly trading zone. The zones are published Monday morning for our traders and trial members at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. When price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. And when price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. Now, when price encounters a weekly zone, 70% of the time you're going to see consolidation like this, like this. 20% of the time you'll see rejection like this. 10% of the time, the slice. That's when a 30-minute candle slices through a zone like it's not even there. Typically when that happens and the move runs out of steam, price will retrace back to the zone it sliced through and continue in the direction of the slice. We've published the zones every week for our members since December 14th of 2009. Basically, 15 and a half years. Now, yesterday on the live broadcast, we drew in this window of opportunity on the long side and this window on the opportunity on the short side. So you see, we didn't really care if price went up or down because we already had found our window of opportunity. And we filled it with gusto. Right off the open last night. And then we hit the zone, consolidated for a bit, and then we hit the long target, exceeded it, ran into resistance. If you look left, you'll find the reason. Okay. On the pullback, the top side of that long target became support. And then when blue and climbing got directly above price, it became resistance. Because when blue and climbing gets directly above price, it's usually on its way to becoming red and falling. One is bullish, the other bearish. And as you can see, it pushed it right back down again to the top of that long target and the BBC. Now we have a perfect stack. Price, the step line, blue and climbing, and the BBC. So I'm telling you, this looks so bullish. We very well could hit that bearish cross on the daily chart today. Let's go back and let's get a price. Now, it's a daily chart. It's hard to nail it exactly, but I'm going to go 61.65. Okay, might want to write that down. 61.65. 61.65 is right there. And with this perfect stack right here, we could see it. But when we get there, now I don't know what's going to happen next in the market, but based on a whole lot of history, we're going to most likely find resistance the first time we hit that area. Now, will it be enough to turn the market around? I don't know. But it should be a good wall of resistance. Should take a while to overcome it. We'll see. All right. So the window from the ES got filled. Now, these were the CTAs that I showed you earlier. Okay. Each one has a long and short target. This was the opening candle last night. Ran up to the zone, consolidated, hit the long target. Resistance sends the market back to support at the zone. The zone is 70/75. 430/70/430/75. I just put one of the lines on the chart. It helps it to be clutter free. Now look what happened on the pullback. We came back to the top of the long target and found support. And of course the pullback to the BBC held. And now we got a perfect stack. Price, that line, blue and climbing, the BBC. The Russell. Now on yesterday's broadcast, we drew two long windows and a short window because, again, you don't care which, with futures, you don't care which way price goes. You just need to know where there's a nice window of opportunity. So we drew in this one, and then we drew this one. Now remember, this is Tuesday today. This is Monday. We went all the way back to Friday to find the window of opportunity. Here we were basing it off this, but here we were basing it off this. And we filled it before yesterday's session closed. This was the opening candle last night, and we made a beeline right up to the long target, consolidated, punched through red and falling, but didn't quite make it to the next zone yet. And then price came back and found support where? On top of the long target. So we try again, but now we got blue and climbing overhead, which turns to red and falling, and that pushes us all the way back down to the weekly trading zone that was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Remember, when price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. Okay? And so support will always send the market looking for resistance. Now this high failed to take out these highs. That's typically a sign of weakness, but the market is so bullish today, and we're just now getting our bullish cross right here. Blue line getting above the green line. So is the next zone 2185/86 in play? Yes, but before that can happen, we got to take out this high right here. So while I'm thinking about it, I might as well just go ahead and draw in that window. Now again, this high is 2181.30. So we want to go up to like 2183. 2183 to 2185. Okay. Now, I can't imagine it happening, but if for some reason the market sells off, it's a most excellent window of opportunity right there. NQ. Yesterday, We drew in this long window of opportunity, going all the way back to Friday. And when the market opened last night, it filled beautifully. Now these were two short windows and price never went there. But that's okay. At least if price had gone there, we would know what we were going to do. Now, once we consolidated at the long target, we finally punched through the next zone, and then we came right back down to through basically the top of the target, found some support, but blue and climbing was directly overhead, turning into red and falling, pushing price back down to the zone and the BBC. That's called support times 2. And we got a perfect stack here. Price, black step line, blue and climbing, BBC. I mean, this thing is poised for liftoff. Crude oil. Crude is already, it was last night, it was below the lowest weekly trading zone. Now this window, which we drew, the short window we drew yesterday, went way back into last week. But it finally filled. Oh, this one finally filled, and this one filled. And then when the market opened last night, we came down, we had the short target, caught a bounce, came back to the short target, pulled back to the BBC, held, and it held. And now we're dropping below the short target. How low can crude go? Well, it wasn't too terribly long ago they were trying to give it away. Practically. I mean, was it $8 a barrel? I think in some places it was like they would pay you to take it off their hands. Things can change real quick, especially with all the geopolitical tension we have. So last night when I saw this turn right here, I said, okay, crude's going to get back on track. Yeah, well, so far it hasn't. Yesterday on the live broadcast, we drew in this short window of opportunity, and the market opened last night and filled it. Very nice. Then we hit the zone. It bounced us back up to the bottom of the window, which sent us back down to the zone. We consolidated sideways, the pullback held, and then down we go to the short target again. We get below the short target, and then we pull back up to the zone. Remember, when price moves up to a zone, we expect resistance. From there, red and falling got below price. So we attempted to climb again back to the zone. Didn't quite get there. And we dropped. Now, to me, this looks like a transition. We're at the BBC. If we get a 30-minute candle opening and closing above the 30-minute BBC, I'll be ready to say that metals are heading higher. So, silver. Oh, the long window that we drew yesterday. It only takes 2 pennies to get your gold and silver for the day. It gave us 2 pennies, but it was a 3-penny window. Didn't quite make it to the top. But the short window we drew, that filled completely and then some. And we hit the short target. Support sends us to resistance. Back to support. Now this support right here, I want you to look. You see where the black line crossed red and falling? You see that? It's this low right here. Sent us up to resistance at the long target. Resistance will always send the market looking for support, which it found. Caught a bounce up to the step line. And silver sold off, but now it's recovering. Remember, gold is already back up to the VBC, and silver, it's got to overcome this zone. And then we'll be at the BBC. And then if we can close above the BBC, be conscious of this bearish cross right here. Okay? Because first time up, that will be potential resistance. Now at the end of the broadcast, after Michael's done, he should be here any minute, I will go back through the various markets and I will draw in windows of opportunity, just as I did yesterday. And Michael is here, so let me pull this down. And Michael, whenever you're ready.
All right. Everything is all centered, ready to go. There.
Okay.
How's that look?
Yep, that looks great.
All right, here we go. Let's go out here. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 24th day of June, 2025. All right, now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There is no credit card required for the trial. Click on that purple button, and you will be sent to this page. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, make sure you give us a TradingView login ID. All right. If you don't have one, click on this button right here. It'll bring you to this page. Watch this video. Click on this button. And choose the essential if you're just starting out. All right. Now, on a monthly basis, this is what the cost is. This will be a 30-day trial to start out with, right? You won't have to pay $14.95. You are probably going to want to get real-time data, though. All right, the real-time data is $7 a month. You're probably going to want to get that real-time data. Once you do that, give us your TradingView login ID, and we'll set up your indicators for you. We get them indicating on your charts. It's a really simple process. Once you do that, you'll be sent an email that has all these links in it, but you can also go here to Trade Rules and right down here at the bottom. If you have the essential, you click on this link right here, and that's going to bring up this. All right. And on this page, you'll have everything all set up for you. You won't have to do a thing. All right, you'll have to hit the word copy over here. It'll be a copy. You have to hit the word copy and then save it. But if you have the essential version, we'll open up both of these charts for you. And it might have if you don't have real-time data, it's going to have a red D or maybe an orange D right here in front of that. All right, it's going to have that. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, contract expired. That's what that's all about. This needs to upgrade to the next contract. Let's just do that right now. ESU. There. All right. Updated. That's all you have to do. Once you do that, you'll have everything on your desktop. Okay? Okay. So let's get into the spreadsheet. Now, I had a little bit of a crisis this morning with the alarm clock and diabetes and other things. So I was a few minutes late, which is unusual for me, but nevertheless, I was. We still got the goal for the day on the first trade. It didn't start till 9:44. But with the goal for the day in 1 minute in the first trade, we were up $1,600. So we got $160 a contract on that first trade. And I believe that was an NQ trade. We got 32 ticks on that NQ trade. Okay. Speaking of the NQ, on the day, on the morning session, we were up 64 ticks on the NQ, 32 ticks on the Russell, 36 ticks on gold, and 2 ticks on the ES. So it was at 865 for session, the morning session anyway, per contract for the morning session. We took a total of 25 trades this morning, and on the month now we're at $12,777. This is looking to be our lowest month of the year so far, probably. But that's okay. So we're 14 business days, averaging $912 per contract per 2-hour business day. On the year now, we're at $153,247. Over 105 business days, averaging $1,459 per contract per 2-hour business day. Now, following the 24/20 blueprint, if you quit trading when you get the goal for the day, that means you get $100 in this column. Quit trading, you get $100 in that column, and add one contract per month, or one contract for every $2,000 in profit that you earn. It should work out to about one a month. It should actually work out to better than one a month. But like this month, we had to earn 12,000, and today we would be adding another contract. So we'd be trading 7 contracts until the end of the month. Well, actually starting 7 contracts now. That's the way it would work out if I were doing it 1 for every $2,000. But anyway, you would have only worked 12.95 hours, just about 13 hours, and you'd be up $58,212. That's all profit. Right, well, that's gross. There's commissions in there too. You would have had, take out the commissions, whatever that is. Commissions for 304 trades is what it would be. And I mean, that's not insignificant, right? Commissions for 304 trades. That mine, if we just do the math on that, bring this over here, we'll do the math. 304 times. Well, you actually got to do it. You got to do it out because it's not just 304. It's 79 times 1, 58 times 2, 54 times 3, 37 times 4, 53 times 4, 5, and 23 times 6. So I thought I had a column that calculated all that stuff. But anyway, that's what it would be. Did all that and took out all those commissions. It wouldn't be 58,000 anymore. It'd probably be closer to 50,000. You might have 8,000 in commission so far this year. Now, I'll just do the math. Let me add another column right here, just temporarily. Insert one column left. Oops, went all the way up to the top. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Temporarily add another column there. Oops, here it is. So this be equals that times 2. Okay. And so then if I copy that and I do it down to here, paste it, and then this would be times, this would be times 3, and this would be times 4. This would be times 5, and this would be times 6. Look at that magic. Okay, that will sum it. 829 contracts traded, getting gold for the day. So it wouldn't be as much as I thought. Maybe close. Be 829 times 2.5, 2,072 minus plus 58,212. So all in net $56,139. I can make that a column right there. All in net would be, I guess I can make that a column, can't I? Would be $56,139. Maybe I'll do that. Anyway, averaging $4,495 per hour. I think I did that right. I haven't gotten the question box over here yet to see if anybody's commenting on me doing the math. Okay, nobody is. Just I did it wrong. Somebody would let me know. But that is where you stand. That is where you would stand if you did every single trade just like I did. Took every single trade just like I did. Total number of trades, everything with my commission rate. Your net profit would be 56,000. Let's just do this. Equals that times 2. Oops. Minus that. That's your net. And so I guess if you do the same math here, your net down here, we'll go out here for that one. We'll do equals, what's the formula for this? Z50 divided by W5050. Okay, so this would be equals that divided by W5050. Is this it? This. All right, so net would be $4,335 per hour after commissions. All right, sorry, I just wasted 6 minutes on that. It's not wasted. I think it's well spent. Just so you see the truth about trading, the real costs. Anyway, let's get into the actual trades. All right, the trades that I took today, we took the majority of the trades on gold. They were spread around pretty good though, so I'll just start out with gold. And let me move stuff around in case I see some trades developing like there is right now. And I might be able to take one or two. All right, there was one here on gold a minute ago. Just spread it out so you can see it. Actually, it wasn't. It didn't come out of the oversold, so it was not one there on gold a minute ago. We're above the YBR here, above the YBR here, above the YBR here. We are not in the oversold here. We are in the oversold here, so we have a chance for a trade on the ES on an up close. All right, so the low of the ES right now is 42.25, so 44.25 is what I'd be buying, just like this. Okay. That's a buy stop limit. It just filled me on the up close right there. Coming off the midpoint, coming out of the oversold. It's conservative long trade. All right, there's nothing here on the Russell because this last one didn't make it into the overbought. Right. And the gold's not coming out of the oversold. The NQ came out of the oversold already, did its thing, and it's pulling back again. Okay, so the NQ has potential for a trade 2 bars from now, not right now. This has to go 4 ticks into profit. It's almost there. Almost there. It's trying to get up here. You see all these numbers up here? That's what it's trying to get up to. There it is. Go ahead. Get up there, yellow thing. There it is. All right. So let's put this on top. We'll slide it over here, and we'll go through the trades. We have our stop and break even on this, and we don't have any risk. That should make it up to at least 61.48.75, the high right there. That's the high of the day. That's what it's shooting for. The initial spot is going to be 61.45, which is already hit. I'm sorry, 61.46.25. Sorry, 61.46.25. So let's look at the gold today. The trades we took on gold. I'm just going to stretch it out this way. Okay, the trades we took on gold today. Let's go back to the beginning. Now, my day started out a little, we ended up with a break even on all this. After all that, we got a break even. I move my NQ over here. After all that, we ended up with a break even. So let's just do this now. Now on gold, had I gotten there on time this morning, I would have gotten gold for the day on the very first trade, which was right here. Nope, not right there, sorry. Very first trade at 9:27 right here. I would have gotten the gold on that trade right there. I did end up getting it on the first trade as it was, but it wasn't on gold. It was on the NQ. And when I sat down and I finally got trading, as soon as I sat down, I had to trade on the NQ, the ES, and the Russell. And I made 32 ticks on the NQ, 4 ticks on the ES, and 5 ticks on the Russell. This was as I started out. But this was the first trade I did take on gold over here. And we picked up 10 ticks on that one. And then we stopped out on the next one. We're at -5. And then we picked up another 10, put us at +5. We had a break even. And then over here, we picked up 25. That got us to 30. And then we stopped out there, brought us back down to 15. Then we had 16 there, got us to 31. And then 5 there, got us to 36. And that is where we stopped the trading for the morning session. There were some more trades in here. I'm just looking to see where the heck they all were. I'm sure there were more trades in there. You see every time it goes in and out of the overbought or oversold, depending what side of the YBR you're on, is a potential trade setup. Okay. I'm sure there were more trades in there, but I'm not going to go through them all right now. I just spent 6 minutes going through a spreadsheet. So, Russell now, if I'd have started with the Russell this morning at the open, I would have stopped out on the very first trade, I think, on the Russell. Okay. The very first trade I did take, as I said a minute ago, I picked up 5 ticks on that one. And then I picked up 7 ticks on that to give it a plus 12. 10 ticks there to get us to 22. Then 5 ticks to get us to 27. And then 5 more ticks to get us to 32. And that is where we ended up with the Russell. Okay. The ES, not counting that last trade that we just took right there. Go back to the beginning of this, and it's not too hard to do. Here it is on the ES, the very first trade, as I told you a few minutes ago. I got 4 ticks on that one. I got 6 more there to get us to 10. Break even, then I stopped out. That put us back down to 0. Then I got 2 on this, got us to plus 2. And that is where we ended it on the ES. It had some nice movement in here, so it's all looking pretty darn good in there. That was the ES. The NQ. Let's go back to the beginning of the NQ. This is the whole thing on the. This is where we got the gold fuddy on this first trade on the NQ. It's right off the ribbon right there. We got 32 ticks on the first trade, 2 there to get us to 36. I'm sorry, 4 there to get us to 36. Then 8 here to get us to 44. Then 16 there to get us to 60. And then 4 there to get us to 64. And that's where we ended up with that. That was just a trade in here a minute ago on the NQ that I missed. That was it. All right. So for everybody that's coming in right now to YouTube, if you're just logging on now, go to mytradingiq.com to take the trial. Click on this purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that purple button. It will bring you to this registration page. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom gives you TradingView login ID. And click on this button right here. Click on that. If you don't have a TradingView login ID, just click on that, hit the register button, and you'll be sent everything that you need to get into the room in the morning, right? And get your indicators indicating on your desktop. All right, so let me close these other things, and I don't save that. Let me save it again. Okay. I'll close that and come over here. So this was a chance to take an aggressive long trade here on the gold, which I didn't do, but you still have a chance to take a conservative long trade if you get an up close on the SPAR from 33.0 up to 34.0 on the gold. Close at 34.0 will be a conservative long trade. Above the line. Okay. You went through the 100% retracement here on the Russell, so you're not going to do anything with that. You're coming off going through the 100% retracement here on the ES, so you're not going to do anything with that, anything more. And we missed the trade over here. We did take the trade here. We're going to break even. We missed the trade here. And now it's all punched up. All right. That was a lot of talking. Does anybody have any questions at this point about any of the stuff? Anybody? Anyone? Alrighty then. We will just wait and see if we get a trade set up here. We have the low on this is, just put this over here, make sure the window is always on top. Over here, the low on this is now at 32.9. So 33.9 is going to be the spot to buy. Okay, it's the only thing right now giving us a trade setup. I was really hoping for a little more today. We have a lot of news this week, so hopefully we'll have a lot of opportunity this week. Was I muted the whole time? Was I muted the whole time I took that gold trade? I was. The whole gold trade? I talked to you all the way through that. Oh, man. That stinks. I was just talking to Bart, too. I was saying, hang on, Bart. I'll find it for you. All right. Maybe I won't find it for you, Bart. I thought I had it, but I don't. You didn't hear me? Okay. Well, I walked you through this whole gold trade from start to finish. Made $1,000. I was talking about all this over here, how we don't have any trades over there. I was talking about this here, how we took that one trade that we had. There was a trade here that I missed where it came out of the oversold right here off the midpoint. I missed that. We took this one over here where we got break even. We took this one over here. We got 10 ticks. And we don't have anything on the Russell. I was walking you through the whole thing again and again and again. Man, it's too bad you guys missed all that. Anyway, Bart, I thought I had it for you in here, man. Why don't I have it for you? Yep. I have it for you, Bart. I don't know what your idea is. Yours is probably, if you hover over this thing right here, you can be logged in as something. You might not have it there, though. Yours might be over here. Okay, it might be right here in the middle. Bart, you asked me what your ID was. I thought you were on TV Trades, but you're not. I would have it if you had it over there, but you don't. Yeah, you never joined that. All right. So we need the down close here on the ES. Now that's not going to be enough. It's not going to put you in the oversold. Okay, you are above the YBR. You're looking for a bounce off the midpoint here, but that's not going to put you in the oversold. It's going to be the bar after that. That'll hit the midpoint and maybe give you an up close off the midpoint. All right, the same situation here on this. You need it to close down, so to put you in the oversold. Actually, yeah, that's what you need. You need the NQ to close down, put you in the oversold. I don't know, Bart. I just told you, look here. Hover over whatever your icon is. Yours might be on the left. I don't think it is, though. Yours is probably here in the middle or on the right. Hover over the icon. It says what you logged in as. See, mine says logged in as CFRN. What does yours say? Logged in as something. You have to give that to me. Okay. We got to try to meet. I'll just set you up. We'll try to meet and I'll set you up. It'll take 5 minutes. Okay.
Oh, Michael.
Yes, I'm here.
Bart's reaching out to you.
I see that. I'm talking to him right now. I'm going back and forth with him. I'm going to have to meet with him because what he just, there's some things he just can't do. So I'm going to have to meet with him. And we can meet after this meeting, Bart. After I'm done here in 9 minutes. We meet in 15 minutes, okay? I'll send you a link. We'll do a quick meeting. I'll get your trade and be running for you, okay? think I have another meeting at 2 o'clock, so we'll get that one done really quick. Sound good? Bart?
Oh, I see you got that trigger like I sent you a picture of this morning. Okay, cool. I haven't read what you wrote to me yet. I'll read that after the broadcast.
Okay. I explained in there what it was.
Yeah, I could see you did. I
Just
just
setting.
time to absorb it.
Sitting right there. But, we're to go in here and change that to that. It all goes away. Change it back. It all comes back on. I don't know why it's not shutting off. It should shut off. Was there another gold trade? No. No, I was kind of waiting in here, Wes. Right here, it went through the midpoint, so there wasn't a good place to trade right there. Went through it again right here. So you have to, in here, you'd be looking, you're above the YBR, so you're looking for something to go long, right? This was the one that we took right here. I took that one for 10 ticks, and there was nothing else since then. This wasn't down here at the time, right? And you're pulling from down here. It's kind of, I don't know. It's not something you want to do here. It went through the 100% retracement. Okay. Well, Bart, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it in like 15 minutes. We'll do it at 1:40. Actually, you know what? That won't work because I need to have full control of your desktop, and I can't do that with the meeting. I have to do it with this room. So we won't be able to do that. Sorry. When Dwayne's done, we can do it a little later after 2 o'clock. You see it, Wes? Okay. Well, then, Bart, we'll schedule something for, let's say 1:50. All right, I'll schedule it for 1:50 because I have another one coming up at 2. But I think between 1:50 and 2, I can get your trading view stuff set up for you. It's usually pretty quick with getting you set up. Okay, Bart. Does that sound good? 1:50. I'll send you a link. You got to agree to it, Bart. Okay, there it is. Thank you. All right. And we'll get that done for you. Okay. It has to be really quick, though, so make sure I'm going to send you a link. I'll call you, too, but I'll send you a link. You got to have the link ready to go on your computer because we only have a short amount of time. I'll create it right now and email it to you right now.
And Netflix is up 23% on the day. No, I'm sorry, $23, 2%.
All right.
Nectar Technologies or Nectar Therapeutics, which I read a news article on earlier, they're up 139%.
That's a pretty good jump.
Carnival Cruise Lines is up 7%. Uber's up 8%.
Yeah, everybody's happy. That's good.
Seems that way.
All right. Share copy registration link. I'm sending you the link right now, Bart. You have to have that meeting ready to go at 1:50. I'll call you. You have to have that ready to go at 1:50, okay? All right, so here on the NQ, we're looking for a long trade, but we went through. We pulled back too deep to get it. On the ES, looks like we're going to flip the YBR. On the Russell, we did just flip the YBR. If we get enough close on this bar on the Russell, this will get us into the overbought, but we won't be at the midpoint. All right, on the gold, we went through the 100% retracement right here. We don't have a trade set up on the gold yet. We don't have a trade set up on the NQ. We don't have a trade set up on the ES. On the close of this bar, I think it's hit the YBR. Yeah, it did. So it's flipping the YBR. So we're going to be looking for shorts now on the ES. Okay. And over here right now on the Russell, we are also going to be looking for shorts. If this bar, if the wick hits the midpoint right here, you can sell a down close on this bar. Right. If the wick hits the midpoint, even if it doesn't, you can still sell it, but it'd be better if it hit the midpoint. Okay. So 73.0 right now is what you'd be selling on the Russell. You're not selling anything yet on the ES, and you're not buying anything yet on the NQ. Okay. We went over the goal today. Good, Wes. A lot of people did today. A couple of people struggled, but most of the people that have contacted me, they got their goal and they got it early. Some even got it before he came on.
Good job, Wes. Well, even though two Fed governors have already said they think July is the right time to cut rates, Jerome said, nope, I think we're just going to have to stand pat and wait, because I still think Trump's tariffs are going to bring inflation. This is a conspiratorial thing, and a countries like George Floyd with Jerome Powell's jackboot on our neck, and the whole country screaming, I can't breathe. Just so aggravating.
It is aggravating. I was watching a video this morning of people that move completely out of the country to places that the Russell trade is on right here, guys. Completely out of the country to places that you can really care less what's going on in the United States once you get out of it. And if you're not living in the Middle East and other politicized countries.
I know a couple people that moved to Puerto Rico, and they're really happy there.
And it's still part of the U.S. though.
It is still part of the U.S., yeah, but
still stuck in their politics. But like Thailand, there was a thing about these people moving to Thailand. I mean, Thailand, just because you can live like a king on an average Social Security check there.
Yeah, you really can. You really can. But it can also be dangerous.
It can.
You can. If you can get into a gated community, and then when you go out, on the economy, just really
go out during the day.
Keep your wit. Go into the day and keep your wits about you, and figure out a way not to get pickpocketed. Because
yes. Yeah. Well, that's just something that I watched. Anyway, it is time for me to wrap it up, and I now have 2 meetings in the next half an hour. So,
all
right. Let me do this. Today we ended up with $865 per contract. All right. On the month we're at 12,777. On the year we're at 153,247. That is all with one contract. If you haven't taken a free trial, go to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. No credit card required for the trial. Click on that purple button, can bring you to the registration page. Just fill out the page. Right? Make sure you give us your interview login ID so you can get your indicators indicating on your desktop. All right, and with that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Welland, America's largest city park. Dwayne is coming on. Excellent.
Okie doke. Recap of the morning session.
Today I took 1 trade and 1 minute to get to $1,600. 10 comments.
Great job.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we made it through all of the markets in the granular fashion. So if you showed up late, you didn't get it all, 30 minutes to an hour after I sign off, you can go to youtube.com/CFRN and hear every word I said, everything I pointed out. But what we're going to do right now is it's window of opportunity time. So silver really looks like it wants to break above the BBC. So now we got a bearish cross up here, which we know is potential resistance. let's do this. Okay, that's a nice long opportunity. And my concern with a short opportunity, okay, I'd like to do it right here. Which, if price starts dropping, that won't affect it. If price moves higher, then blue and climbing is going to come up into the window, and that's going to negate the short side. But if price drops, blue and climbing will stop climbing. So we'll just go right here. And remember, with silver, you only need 2 pennies. That's all it takes to get your goal for the day. 2 pennies is $100 per contract traded. We got our 2 pennies up here and on the long side yesterday and on the short side. So the NQ, now that's going to be, it's going to be tricky. Because I got nothing to the left to work off of. So if this thing keeps running, keeps on running. That's a great new contemporary Christian song if you guys aren't familiar with it, from Elevation. It's talking about God's love, keeps on running. You see the step line is starting to hook right, which tells me price that the step line is probably going to cross to the right side of blue and climbing. That's going to give us a pullback to the BVC. Okay. Then the question becomes, does the pullback hold or not? We don't know. We have to wait and see. So we can just come down here and do this. Well, that's higher than I want it to be. I mean, you don't need much to get your goal for the day. What's the low of this candle? We'll call it 301. That's 304. Come on now. I don't want to move that side. That's 302. So it should be 91. I'll write it in so it won't be confusing for everybody. So 222 301 to the zone at 291. Because I just can't get it exactly right. Okay. All right. Again, I think price is coming back to the BVC. If the pullback holds, you got going to have all kinds of resistance to overcome to take out the high of the day. If price continues to push higher here, it's got to take out that high, it's got to take out that high, and then that's a couple days worth of your goal for the day. Yes, we got the same kind of scenario. We go back to the daily. What do we call this? I told you guys to write it down and then I didn't. 6161. That's conservative. Okay. So we're talking 52 to 59, 7 points. And if price comes back down, the zone is 6104 to 6105. All right, we can do this. You get it? Kind of. 6114 to 6110. 6114 to 6110. So tomorrow we'll remember exactly what those numbers were. So you got a long side, you got a short side. By the time we talk tomorrow, one of these will have filled. I'm pretty sure. We already have a long drawn and a short drawn on the Russell. We did that earlier in the broadcast. Crude. Okay, long side, we're going to go here. That would be 67.40 to 67.70. That's $300 per contract traded. On the short side, I'm going to have to look so far left. Probably have to go into the old contract. So we'll just park that right there. Now, remember, as price enters your window of opportunity or nears your window of opportunity, go to your range chart, exactly the way Michael teaches you in the morning, okay, and time that puppy. So you're entering, we're getting a big picture window of opportunity, but you're able to enter with surgical precision. Gold, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. The long trade would be here. See that last high? What was that high? 42.9. So we'll go 40 to 42. Yeah. $33.42. $33.42. Now this is high probability because you got blue and climbing, and you see how we're sneaking above the BBC. We could still reverse, and if we do, what we got there? 33.14. Let's see, it would be 33.17 to 33.15. It's $200. That's $200. And the Dow. Okay, simple enough on the short side. Right there. 61.44. We're 7 points away from that bearish cross. Keep in mind it's an area. So, all right. Again, if you missed the beginning of the broadcast where I went through each of the markets in a granular fashion and talked about the logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts, you can watch the whole broadcast in its entirety at youtube.com/CFRN within an hour after I sign off. If you're ready to become a member, go to mytradingiq.com, watch the videos, read the content, and when you're ready, send an email to support@cfrn.net and simply say, I'd like to become a member. And if you're a veteran, say, I'm a veteran and I would like to become a member. Because Valerie's going to send you an info-packed email that explains everything it means to become a passport holder. And she's going to give you a link that you can click to seal the deal. And if you've let us know you're a veteran, you're going to get a little discount. Okay. Now, in that email she sends you, the first thing she'll probably talk about is you're going to get 2 hours of live interactive training every trading day. Michael's putting on, taking off trades live in real time, real trades, real money. He explains every move he makes, every trade he takes, and you see the results right there in front of your eyes. Okay? We don't sweep anything under the carpet. We actually want you to learn how to trade. Your job is to watch, listen, trade along in your demo account so you can qualify to go live and ask every single question that pops into your head until you get to the point where you find that you're just repeating the same questions and getting the same answers. Okay? Along with 2 hours of live interactive training every day, you'll get private one-on-one mentoring at your request. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs. It doesn't matter, price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. It's simply how markets work. As a passport holder, you get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You get the concierge trade alerts the second they're published. Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you'll get the weekly trading zones. Once they're published Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the entire week. And every Thursday afternoon, you'll get an invitation to attend the members-only workshop Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you'll get the golden key that unlocks all the private channels in Telegram. Now, when you take our trial, you have access to the public channels in Telegram. You're actually able to talk to our traders. Ask them, so you don't have to believe us. Just talk to them. Talk to people who found us, spent their money, learned how to trade, and are now profitable. Ask them whatever question you want. How's it going? How long did it take? Is this place any better than any other place? I mean, very few, I don't know of any place that lets you mix and mingle with their members before you spend money. We do, because we got a whole bunch of happy campers. So, but once you become a passport holder, you're going to get access to all the private Telegram channels. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. No more of this trying to piece together, well, I learned a little something over here from this place, and then I got this one indicator over here from this place, and then one day I heard this guy say this thing, and I kind of made, no. Stop with the patchwork quilt. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. And this isn't some deal where you get a set of indicators and a PDF and then a pat on the back and a hearty handshake and wish you well. You're committing to learning how to trade. We're committing to do our very best to see you successful. I mean, that's why we do 2 hours of live training every day. That's why, as a passport holder, you have access to private one-on-one mentoring when you need help. That's why we have a group workshop, members only, on Thursday night. What I'm trying to say is we're here for you, okay? Since 2005. We're not one of these places that pops up today and gone tomorrow. 20 years. 20 years. I guess we should get a gold watch or something. You guys should give us a gold watch. Come on. Make mine a Rolex. Just kidding. All right, let's wrap this up with our good word for today. We're going to talk about resolving conflict quickly, but it's going to take a couple days for us to cover it all. Matthew 18:15. Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. Few things in life cause more stress than unresolved conflict. It will elevate your blood pressure and consume your thoughts until you resolve it. So if you're wise, you'll deal with it right away. Not all people feel this way. Even though Jesus commanded us to deal with it, many Christians refrain from saying anything for the sake of peace. Not so. Unresolved conflict will affect your peace of mind, your productivity, and your attitude towards others. So, deal with it. Additionally, the problem with refusing to face an issue is that it will probably occur again. So, according to an interpersonal communications advisor, do these 3 things. Number 1, ask God to give you His words to say so that His purpose will be achieved. In Isaiah 55:11, God says, "My word will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." Now again, this is really important. Number 1, ask God to give you His words to say so that His purpose will be achieved. When I used to do a lot of counseling, people would come in, sit down, teary-eyed, tell me their story. There really are a million stories in the naked city. Some of them you wouldn't believe. But as they were talking, I was listening, but I was praying, Holy Spirit, come. Give me the words, the right words, your words, God's words, to say to this person to help them with their situation. And when they stopped, then I knew it was my turn. And literally I would just open my mouth, and through the power of the Holy Spirit, sometimes I wouldn't even remember exactly what I said. But man, they'd get up, their whole countenance was changed, they were filled with hope. Not because I was some great counselor, but because I know the great counselor.
Oh, he must.
All right.
Oh, you need me to get out of here? Okay. All right. Real quick, number 2. Empty your emotions out to God before engaging the offender. Emotions tend to get in the way of facts and can hinder objective thinking. That isn't as hard as it may sound once you decide you're going to make every effort to settle the issue in a harmonious way. If it is possible, As far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18. And finally, number 3. Remember, this is just part 1. Be clear as to what you perceive the problem to be. Avoid vague arguments that leave room for misinterpretation. For example, "You need to do better" does not really clarify the problem. If your goal is to heal the relationship, God will work with you. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and
Sorry about that, guys. Michael hit the trigger a little quick. Okay. Well, anyway, have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.